Hi Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. This is your December 2016 forecast. So happy birthday Sagittarius. This is really your time to shine. The sun is going to be in your first house until the 21st of December. And in the first house, this is all about recharging yourself, reorientating yourself. When the sun is in the first house, we have the opportunity to really connect with our true sense of identity and purpose. And this is very useful in terms of determining where we want to expend our energy, where things are going to be the most productive for us. The first house is also about how we present to other people. And with the sun here, you're feeling more confident, more extroverted. So it's really a good time to put your best foot forward. You know, that confidence helps you make a favorable impression on other people. And it's really the time of year where you want to be focused on your own needs. And, you know, this isn't for selfish purposes. It's really because you're really better in tune to those needs. And, you know, it's not often that we really feel connected with our true sense of identity and purpose. So you really need to max out on this time and use the sense of confidence and vigor and physical energy to get out there and put your best foot forward and make a favorable impression on other people. And of course you can use this for business, professional, romantic affairs. You know, it's all about how you're engaging with the world based on what you think is going to be the best fit for you. So the new moon on the 29th of November had aspects to Neptune, and although those aspects weren't very good for making business decisions, they were very good for creative reinvention. So this could have been the time, you know, of a wardrobe makeover. You know, perhaps you're thinking of getting a new haircut. It's all about mixing things up a little bit. So, and this has to do with your personal appearance. So perhaps there have been some changes and revisionings, and perhaps of an exciting and creative variety. So Mercury is going to be in your second house, and on the 19th of December it will be retrograding. And Mercury, although it's, Mercury retrograde can often be about mishaps in terms of technology, miscommunications. It's also about just going over things and revising things. And, your mind is on, going over affairs that need to be put into order. And Mercury is going to be retrograding in Capricorn in your second house. So this is the house of financial affairs. So you really want to look over all your financial deals. You want to reassess and renegotiate those sorts of financial deals and commitments. And you want to look for any kind of errors in paperwork or filing, like insurance payments, that sort of thing. Make sure everything's in order. And also you want to collect all kinds of information in terms of ways to make money. So look at ways that you can make more money and do your research, be conscientious about it. And this is all about practical, tangible changes, things that can really happen. Restructuring things in a way to make them more profitable. So really look into those things and consider, changing up your attitudes about money. Perhaps certain restrictions have been forced upon you, especially with Saturn in your first house. Saturn in the first, where it's going to be still for another year. It's really about getting to know yourself better, sharing things from your life that don't serve you anymore. So building a solid foundation. And with Mercury in your second house, it's really looking at the financial aspect of that foundation that you're building and restructuring. So reassessing things that have value in your life, things that you want to bring in that you value that aren't there presently. So really take the time with this Mercury retrograde and Mercury in your second house, to go over all your financial affairs and change your attitudes towards money. Perhaps there really are ways that you can restructure things in a more favorable way. So Venus and Mars will be in your third house in the middle of the month for 2 weeks, and Mercury and Mars together are very good for romance, for connection, for physical chemistry. And in the third house, this is where you sell yourself, where you make an impression on other people. So this is a very good placement for interviewing, for presenting yourself very well. Venus in the third manages to draw lots of good things into your day-to-day routine. So lots of opportunities for pleasantness, pleasant, light interactions, but also, again, for making a good impression. Mars, of course, is the energy planet, and, that's going to help you be a little bit more forceful, more confident, more assertive, more vigorous. So this can be very good for selling yourself, and Venus is really going to help you in this regard. But with those two planets together, you may find that you can attract some romantic possibilities without even trying too hard. You'll just run into them because it is the house of day-to-day affairs. So, this is also very good for routine communications and for vigorous mental work. So if you really need to focus on stuff and get stuff done, then Mars in the third is really going to help you focus on that. You know, Mars is that energy planet, drive, ambition. So, you know, this period of the month can be very good for focused mental activity. After that, Mars is going to move into your fourth house in the last week of the month. And Mars in the fourth is really about making your home environment as comfortable as possible. Mars in the fourth can also be, you know, very energetic about renovations, construction, but it can also show conflict with family members or conflict over property disputes, so just watch out for that. But really what you're trying to do is make your home life as comfortable as possible. So if you focus on that and, you know, try and take other people's needs into account, then Mars can really work very productively and get a lot done around the home. So let's look at what else is happening this month. So on the 1st of December, Mars is trining Jupiter from the 3rd to the 11th. And, you know, these are very social placements. The 11th house where Jupiter is all about groups and group activities, friends and associates. So this is very good for activity in those areas. You know, it's a very good time to advance your interests. It's very good for group presentations. So if you need to present your ideas to a group and, you know, or present yourself in terms of business, then this is very good for that kind of professional advancement. You know, you're thinking clearly, you're good at making decisions, especially because Mars is going to be sextiling Saturn on the 3rd of December. This is very good with activities that require patience and diligence and perseverance. So hard work, long-term vision, you know, you can delay immediate gratification. But, you know, you're able to put your best foot forward. And like I said, Jupiter in the 11th is going to be very favorable for group presentations and, you know, really getting your interests met. So on the 9th of December, the Sun is sextiling Jupiter, also a very lucky, optimistic placement between your 1st and your 11th house. So very favorable for groups and friendships and, you know, connecting with people. So all kinds of group activities are favorable. You know, this is going to have you wanting to connect with things that are bigger than yourself. Hence, very good for group activities and things that are bigger than you, because it puts you in a very idealistic frame of mind and you're wondering about how to achieve those ideals and put them into action. So very good for making plans for the future. This aspect, the Sun and Jupiter sextiling, also helps you make a good impression with authority figures or people in charge. So very good for business and for making a great impression. So on the 10th and the 12th, the Sun is conjuncting Saturn and the Sun is trining Uranus. So the Sun conjuncting Saturn, this can really bring duties, obligations and responsibilities to the fore. You know, as I've discussed with Saturn in the first, it's about, you know, what duties do you want to take on? What duties and obligations can you let go of? And because these Saturn in the first can tax your physical energy, it's very important to delegate responsibility when you can, not take on too many new responsibilities. And so really, you know, tend to those affairs and let go of responsibilities that are really weighing you down and perhaps really aren't your job to fulfill. And on the 12th, the Sun is going to be sextiling Uranus from the 1st to the 5th house. So this is very exciting and, you know, can really open up a lot in terms of speculative risk-taking or possibly even a new romance. So, you know, this is going to give you quite a lively and attractive quality, and it's going to want you to take on new things. So, you know, you don't really want to be too loaded down by those Saturnian responsibilities. So you're going to be energetic and enthusiastic and ready to take on new things and experiences. So for some of you, this could be in the form of romance, because you'll be really feeling, you know, inspired and excited and willing to try something new. So take a change of, this can help you take a change direction or go down a new route. It can also inspire some speculative risk-taking with Uranus in the 5th house. So see which avenue opens up for you. So on the 14th of December, we had the full moon in your 7th house. And where the Sun in the 1st is all about your own needs, the full moon in the 7th draws your attention to the needs of others. Because of the aspects with Saturn in the full moon, it's about delegating responsibility, which I've already discussed. You know, the aspects between the Sun and the Moon and Saturn, can have you feeling, like you've taken on too much, you're doing somebody else's share of work. So this is about renegotiating within partnerships, making sure that everything's playing out fairly and equitably. So, just take this opportunity to reassess, to renegotiate, to compromise within partnerships, and to take other people's needs into account. But of course, make sure that other people are taking your needs into account also. So on the 20th, Mercury goes retrograde, and as I've discussed, this is really when you want to go over all your financial deals, you're thinking about money, you're thinking about ways to make new money, you're thinking about your financial commitments and ways of opening up new streams of income, potentially, restructuring financial obligations. So really take this period to reflect and review on those areas and see if you can change your attitude to money, see if new areas can open up for you, and attend to all the paperwork. So on the 24th, Saturn is trining Uranus, which is an aspect that you'll see again. And this is between your first and your fifth houses, so it's going to affect you personally quite strongly. It's going to have you be feeling progressive and innovative. Where Saturn in the first is about a lot of changes and restructuring in your personal environment, this is going to help make those changes take root in a way that's not so challenging anymore. You're going to be able to incorporate changes in a more routine way. It's all about learning new skills, having a disciplined approach towards new things. So, things are starting to settle in and take root. It's very good for, studying new areas, and, creative projects and business projects are really going to be favored by this aspect as well. So see how these things play out in your life. So on the 25th of December, which is of course Christmas, and whether you celebrate it or not, this is a great day for getting together with other people, for going to parties, for meeting new people, or even just interacting with family members that you already know. But, because Venus is trining Jupiter, Venus is sextiling Saturn, and Venus is sextiling Uranus all on the same day. So Venus is that sociable planet, wants to relax, have a good time, go to parties, have fun, and really, put her feet up. So with those aspects between Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus, this is definitely a social day. So don't miss out. Make sure you go to a party or have some kind of, fling ding and have a good time, because that's really where the planetary energies are at. So on the 26th of December, we've got Jupiter opposing Uranus, and this opens up unexpected opportunities. It's going to enable you to break free from some restrictions. It's really a chance to improve your circumstances. On the 28th, the Sun is sextiling Mars, and this is good for work. It's high energy. It's also good for health. It's going to help you feel self-assertive. It favors vigorous physical activity. And on the 28th, the Sun is conjuncting Mercury as well. And this is very good for initiating conversations, and because it's in your second house of finances, it's very good for initiating any kind of changes that you're making, going over your financial commitments, for revising plans for the future. Mercury retrograde often has you revisiting things, so going over old business details. On the 29th, the new moon is in Capricorn, and this is going to have the Sun, Moon, and Mercury all lined up, but also with a sextile to Mars. So just about every year this time, we have a new moon in Capricorn. So it's all about practical, tangible reality. How you can change your life. This is that period where people are making New Year's resolutions. Like, what changes can you make that you can have stick? So for you, this is in that second house of finances. It's how you can feel more secure, rooted, how you can bring more of what you value into your life, which is money mostly. And so, you're looking for new opportunities in this area. And with a sextile to Mars, you may also be prepared to take a risk and try something new. It's going to help you take action and, make you a little bit more courageous and help you take the initiative to any kind of changes or restructuring that you want to make. So the month wraps up with the Sun sextiling Neptune and Mars conjuncting Neptune. So this is all about giving back. These aspects make us more sensitive to the needs of other people. It's very much geared towards altruistic action and giving back. So perhaps you have the opportunity to help a family member in need or really connect to somebody that needs your assistance. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this forecast, and if you have, please like and subscribe.